Hi, my name is David Shermer, and I'm the co-host of the Firing the Man podcast, a podcast for entrepreneurs trying to grow their e-commerce businesses. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about starting a podcast, and that story starts back in 2017 with a New Year's resolution that I was going to start a podcast. When I started, I had a lot of energy. I was really excited about this opportunity, and I was just mowing down content on YouTube and reading blog articles. But there was so much content out there, it was hard to digest, and I didn't know where to start. Unfortunately, I made no progress on this goal, and 2017 came to an end. And so I decided to keep this New Year's resolution in 2018. However, I got busy, and it was the same song and the same dance. I got overwhelmed with all the information on the internet, and I didn't start. In 2019, I met Ken Wilson, who is now the other co-host of the Firing the Man podcast. Ken runs an e-commerce business, and him and I would get together once a week and talk about strategies and tactics that we were implementing into our business to fuel growth. Truth be told, my wife was sick of listening to me talk about pay-per-click marketing, online marketing, conversion rates on Amazon, and I really needed an outlet. Truth be told, Ken's girlfriend had that same story. So anyway, Ken and I really enjoyed getting together and talking about these advanced strategies and tactics. And one day Ken mentioned, we should start a podcast. And I said, I've wanted to start a podcast. I just don't know where to start. And Ken said, well, I don't know where to start either. And so we kind of left it at that. A couple weeks later, Ken got back from the Brand Accelerator Live course hosted by Scott Volker, who's a titan in the industry, in the e-commerce industry. Ken had mentioned to Scott that we were interested in starting a podcast, and Scott recommended the Power Up Podcasting course by Pat Flynn. So Ken and I decided to enroll in the Power Up Podcasting course and made a promise to each other that we would watch one video each day and take a small step forward to accomplishing our goal. After 6 weeks, we had a live podcast, and as of today, we're 6 months in and have released 10 episodes and are having an awesome time with it. Now, a couple awesome things that have happened since we've started our podcast. One, we had Emma Shermer Tamier on our podcast. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, she speaks around the world about professional copywriting and writing listings on Amazon that convert. I totally nerd out on this, and I've actually worked with Emma. However, I've always had to pay her. Now, when I asked her to be on the podcast, she said she'd be glad to. And for 1 hour, I was able to ask her every question that I had about professional copywriting. I learned a ton from this, and it was awesome. It was free information, and I know it provided a ton of value to our listeners. The second thing is Ken and I are having a blast. We still get together once a week and talk about our businesses. However, we just sit behind a microphone and record them. We set up this awesome studio in an extra room in my basement and are really enjoying the process. Starting a podcast has been the best thing that I've done in 2020. And for any of you thinking about starting a podcast, I would really encourage you to consider Pat Flynn's Power Up Podcasting course. It will allow you to cut to the front of the line, save you time, save you money, and overall it's a great return on investment. Here are a couple key takeaways from this course and why I think it's an excellent option for somebody thinking about starting a podcast. Number one, this course allows you to skip to the front of the line and learn from somebody that's been doing podcasting for over 10 years. Pat is very transparent about all of the mistakes that he's made and shares with you these mistakes so you can avoid them. The amount of time and energy that has saved us is incredible. Number two, one thing that really held me back from starting this podcast was I thought I needed thousands of dollars of equipment. I'd need to get a new computer. I'd need to get some fancy editing software. Pat walks you through the equipment that you need, and what we found was it's incredibly budget friendly. Pat also has videos for Mac users and for PC users. I didn't have to get a new computer, and for a couple $100, we were able to get our podcast off the ground and overcome this thing that had been holding me back for over 2 years. My last key takeaway from this course is about Pat Flynn as a person. Now, in a lot of Pat's videos, he would talk about his wife. He'd talk about his kids. He'd talk about what is most important in his life. And throughout his lessons, he would find a way to remind you about what's most important to you. and how podcasting can provide a platform to generate passive income so you can spend more time with your family and loved ones. This was a really important reminder to me and something that I really appreciated. There's a saying, you are the average of the 5 people you associate with most. Now, I've never met Pat. However, I did spend a lot of time with them virtually by taking his course. I feel like a lot of these life lessons rubbed off on me, and for that I am grateful.